Okay, we're live. We're live. We're live. And we are back. This is Transparency and Merit with Brian and Joe. And it is April 15th, 2021. James O'Keefe.
Yes, he was kicked off of Twitter, from my understanding.
He's been suspended from Twitter, and it's. I think originally, I mean, I'm only seeing some posts now. The claim is that he has, I guess, created some fake
Fake accounts. That's what he's been being told, and he's suing Twitter for defamation, from my understanding.
I guess if he was, I mean, fake accounts. They're all fake accounts, really. But I guess it would be maybe impersonating other people, or intentionally deceiving people. I guess that's what he's known for, right? Is to kind of get in, get inside people's heads, or get inside a corporate idea or structure under kind of false pretense. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what he's famous for exactly, but he's gotten some people into trouble. I think he got Obama in trouble, right?
He got Obama in trouble, and just recently um, he got CNN in trouble, and he exposed CNN for being partisan and basically being activist journalist. And a lot of people say that this is for clicks, this is for ratings, but I wonder how much is ideology, how much are people motivated by ideology and ego? Because my thought is these people think that, I think a lot of them think, hey, we're doing the right thing. We are uh, we are following, the right path, and we're just here to make sure that that path is followed. And even if it's not the truth, even if we're stretching the truth, we're going to do it anyway, because the ends justify the means. And I believe that's an even stronger motivation than money, Joe. I could be wrong on that, but that's where my gut tells me that that ego and ideology are a stronger motivating force than ratings. Because it's kind of like, I remember when my father did stuff about the movie studios, and the main thing was MGM. And they didn't want to get involved with television. And that's MGM would have been saved had they saw the signs of television early on, and they just they went along with it, but they decided not to. And because they thought, oh, it's just a little tiny box, and they didn't see past that. And that's my opinion on these. A lot of these big networks, they really do not see past their own thoughts. And I really think that they are in a bubble, and they don't, social media for them is just kind of a nuisance. And they think they know what is right for everyone. And on average, the people here are just peasants, and we know what's best for you, and we know what stories you need to look at, and what stories you don't, and what stories are okay to look at, and the way we shade them. That's what it feels like to me, Joe. Am I missing anything here from your perspective?
No, I
Okay.
mean, stories to me, it's just show. The world's a stage, and I sound like a broken record probably, but and these stories all fundamentally at the root have problems, and so the ideology and all the other stuff that follows, it's all skewed, and it's all just perspective, as you said. I realize that everybody's going to have a perspective on these things, but I think the perspectives are all flawed in general. So he's an
Well,
admitted actor on the world stage. So what's to believe about James O'Keefe?
Well, just as like people like Joel Osteen, who are kind of, who have been proven to be kind of fake and stuff, I do believe that they believe what they're selling. They believe the snake oil that they are selling people.
Well, there's a cost for that, and they might be raking in the money now, but I think there's a heavy toll to pay eventually, and I just they're not doing any good for the world.
But they believe they are. I believe that the heads of these social media companies believe that they're doing good for the world. When in my opinion, I think they're causing a lot of subversion because they are promoting voices that they agree with and suppressing ones they do not, and they absolutely believe.
That may be true, and these people just may be in too deep, and I think you have a point. I think they almost have to believe it, and that's unfortunate for the world because there's nothing redeeming in any of it. So there is a Twitter feed. I just pulled up James O'Keefe on Twitter. James O'Keefe now suing Twitter. Complaint will be filed Monday. Here's a comment here. A fraudster who has engineered a clever way to avoid fraud and defamation charges by filming regular people making up lies, to whom he promises compensation for those lies, then releasing footage to them lying with deceptively edited video. And yeah, I mean, look at that. How many times did he have to say lie in that one little tweet? Let's see. Twitter permanently bans Project Veritas founder James O'Keefe, and this guy's claim says here. Uh, well, he's posting something else here. Just spoke to James O'Keefe. Twitter kicked him off. He wants this message out. Twitter, yeah, okay. Exposed CNN tapes took over the internet. That was his big claim to fame. And then you have these idiots going on. James O'Keefe is a hero, and it's just strange.
Well, they are showing the propaganda wing of CNN, and CNN, like I said, Brian Stelter, um, Don Lemon, Don Lemon, Don Lemon. Uh,
Lemon.
these guys, they believe what they're selling. They believe what they're saying, and I think and I think the heads of these places, they believe that they're selling, and they believe what they're doing is for the greater good. And if they have to lie and cheat in order to get their message across, they will absolutely do just that. And that's a dangerous place to have that kind of propaganda and to lie as much as they have. And I think I don't they've gotten worse, and social media has enabled their lies. Social media should be something that helps call out their lies, but social media is enabling the liars by punishing the whistleblowers. And it seems that these social media companies, which have helped which help promote cancel culture, those that try to fight back from things like cancel culture are punished. So I don't know. To me, I almost want to say, since America and American corporations are so entrenched, I wonder if there could be a group that takes, like internationally, like a NATO alliance against some of the woke left that have entrenched themselves into these companies. If that might be the way to kind of fight them back, because the things that they're doing seem to be very subversive, and they seem to be against the civility of society.
This
Um,
kind of tickles me here. Disillusioned liberal says James O'Keefe is top 5 in journalists alive today. Wow. Talk about the lowering of human standards right there. Wow. Just my view.
yeah, and I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if he is or he isn't. Um, but it's things right now seem so very biased. And again, I remember arguing with someone on Twitter, and this was a while ago. But I said, "You sound like," and I asked her, I asked her a few questions, and then she started to, ask me questions to my questions, and I asked her, "Are you gaslighting me?" And she admitted that she was gaslighting me. And I kind of got upset with her. And then she said, "Well, you have to understand that I'm very biased." And I don't think that happens the other way around, where the right gaslights as much as the left. The left just, once you're aware of things, they just they don't gaslight as much. They do gaslight sometimes to appease the left, but once you're not appeasing them anymore, you can't, and you're not controlled by them. They can't gaslight you. Or you don't have, and you don't play their games. You can't, you don't have to be, you don't have to gaslight. Once you're straight up and kind of real, and you don't fall for their fear tactics, um, I think that that's when you develop a strength, and that's also when you start to be, when I think you'll start to be a threat online, and things like that. But the woman kind of went dark because she actually had a her Twitter page was actually a person who said that she was blocked by so many Trump supporters. And then she came to me, and I'm not, whether a Trump supporter or not, I don't like the left. But, I started to ask her questions, and she couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle the questions that I began to ask her. And then she just, she kind of, I don't know if she didn't block me, but she kind of hid from me, because she can't, after a while, they can't handle the questions that you're asking. It makes them look bad.
Here's what Crowder says. Twitter just suspended James O'Keefe for acting well within the bounds of the law in exposing media bias and corruption. Anyone who denies the danger of this control on information in the public square is a fascist and not your friend. All right, Crowder. 13,000 hearts.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the popular thought is or belief on this, but this, like I said, this sounds really, what's been done is very low and very sleazy. What these social media companies are doing, and they seem to just really gaslight Congress when they're asked questions, and they've been up before congressional hearings. They do not seem upfront and transparent on on why they do what they do. And I think that they are motivated by ideology and ego, just as these large news companies are also motivated by ideology and ego more than ratings. And that's something that's not really talked about. I don't know why, but to me, the biggest issue is ideology and ego, and then all the rest, all the and then the rest is fear, because other people are just motivated by fear. I one time talked to a guy who worked at Google, and I asked him about at the time it was the James Damore, that situation, and all he said was, "Man, I'm just a cog in a wheel." And that's a lot of these people. They're just cogs and wheels. They don't like what's going on, but they want that paycheck. They want that steady green. But then you do have people who have taped people on Zoom and have shown like how biased and how awful some of these people are. And I think there are people that are working inside CNN that don't like what's happening.
Yeah.
CNN will not address, I guarantee you, CNN will not address the issue where they've been caught. And they'll continue to uh, be on the mainstream. And I think they'll continue with the same type of journalist. You know, someone like Brian Stelter, who says freedom of speech does not mean freedom of reach. What a terrible thing to say. What an awful thing to say about, about the commons. Do you have to be educated or say the right things to have reach? I guess you can have freedom of speech in your closet and shut the door. Maybe you can venture out to your house or at a few parties, but you can't have the internet. And if you go on the street and say something, well, uh, we have thugs to shut you down from that, Antifa to shut you down, which they are also formed online. It's kind of bad, Joe. Anything else to add? Because I think I've covered everything I want to say on this. Um,
That is it.
yeah. So yeah, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And look, freedom of speech is a cornerstone of our country. And also, Section 230, for me, was meant to be the information age, not the age of censorship and punishment. And with that being said, again, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. We got a fight on our hands with regards to freedom, with regards to transparency and merit. Thank you for listening. I want to